whatever reason, the idea of being blind in video games has seen a recent surge in popularity. From last year's Perception and Stifled to the upcoming experience You Are Being Followed, it seems that every developer has their own vision for depicting a life without. Aptly named Blind by Tiny Bull Studios, it is the most recent addition to the ever-growing genre, and while it's one step forward in the right direction, it's also two very clumsy steps back. The setup for Blind is fairly basic. You've crashed your car and woken up in an unfamiliar mansion, devoid of sight, your memory, and your little brother. It sets the tone for something scary, but before you can say "gone home," the writers give up the ghost entirely by revealing way too much, way too fast, making the rest of the story a bit plotting and unrewarding. An issue that's only exacerbated by some pretty rough voice acting.
Leave me alone. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of always having you kids around.
But I wanted to push through and see what Blind had to offer. And over the next 5 hours, I experienced a largely creative adventure, with puzzles that ranged from insanely easy to fairly thoughtful. There are only a few, so don't expect too much in the difficulty department, and I actually found most of my fun hunting down the hidden gems strewn throughout the manor. And despite the simple black and white, almost vector-based world, there's a serious improvement here over Stifled, articulating a detailed, ornate house, despite my inability to see it. But we need to back up, because the first thing you'll notice before even stepping into an actual game are the seriously unintuitive move controls. 2 move controllers give you 2 hands to interact with the environment, but the button mapping is far from ideal, making simple navigation a chore for the first 2 or 3 hours. And once you're asked to carry something for any length of time and simultaneously use your cane for echolocation, is when the controls result in some serious frustration. There's just no good way to do it, and you'll be fumbling around with which button does what much longer than you rightfully should be, making the less immersive DualShock 4 with its convenient analog sticks the best option by default, with mandatory click turning regardless of which controller is used. All that aside, the actual echolocation mechanic works great with your cane, or, way more fun, throwing items around the room. And my lack of vision actually led to some really tense moments.
Huh. I didn't think he kept it. Dad always looked great in his uniform.
Despite all of its issues, I still kind of liked Blind. There's something pretty cool about its delivery and manages to distinguish itself from other similar sounding games, but it's also a game that gets in its own way at pretty much every turn imaginable. The controls, the story, the voice acting, the ending, which are all officially hurdles that need to be overcome before getting any enjoyment out of this game. And once you strip all of that away, you're unfortunately not left with very much, making Blind a regrettably average experience at best.
I don't remember it looking like this. Weird.